They should look it over and decide what they like and then stay with it. And if one group does well for 2 or 3 years, the next bunch of money they add to, maybe they should add to the group that's underperforming. Over time, different categories work out to be about the same. So you get whipsawed. If you're all in one area, does poorly for 3 years, you say, get me out of that, and you go into some other area, and that does badly for 3 years. You could be in it forever and never make money.
Peter, does this market remind you of any that you've been through before?
I would say the 90 bear market is very similar in many ways. I mean, we just think Saddam Hussein takes over Kuwait. You know, we sent 500,000 troops to Saudi Arabia. All the people are saying it's going to be Iraq's the third largest army in the world. It's going to be another Vietnam. We had a recession. We had all these banks in trouble. Right now, our banks are in terrific shape, which is a major positive. So that was a very scary environment. And we had defaults. I mean, it was an ugly environment. Everybody was afraid. So I think that was a very similar market. And I think 81, 82 was ugly too. We had a 20% prime rate, double-digit inflation, double-digit unemployment. So those are scary markets. And then top it all off, the 73, 74 market, as you remember, the Nifty 50, we had that. We had it in technology stocks. So we had 95% declines. And, so we combined 3 markets into one special case. It's been very fast.
We have less than a minute left. Those who are less sanguine about the economy than you've just expressed often cite the recent declines in the dollar and the shift from surplus to deficit as negatives. You seem to indicate that they're positives. Why?
Well, I think the government running a deficit is terrific. That's the way it should work. I mean, when they were running a $200 billion surplus, which they're taking $200 billion out of the economy. Now the government's running a $100 billion deficit. It's pumping $100 billion in. It's a cushion.
So you don't see a double-dip recession coming?
I don't know. I can't predict the future. That's a healthy thing to have buffers in the economy. We've had 9 recessions in World War II. We've got out every one of them. The system works.
If you could give one sentence of advice to scared investors right now, what would it be?
I think you ought to see some kids. Hire an 8-year-old, hire a 6-year-old. Just watch them. They don't know who Alan Greenspan is. They don't know about the shape of the yield curve. They're optimistic about the future. We'll be fine for the next 30, 40 years.
Let's hope you're right, Peter. Courage and persistence, they've worked in the past.